did just casually see them play on some of our other stations, and I'm really curious to see how they deal with the unpredictability of communication error. So as we roll out here, Mako Mart zones. Let's take a look at what these players decide to pull out. Oh.
All right, we're seeing that Explo again,
The
it looks like.
Back, exactly.
All right, versus a Dynamo on the other side.
Silver Arrow Spray. Silver Arrow Spray is one thing we didn't mention, that Noir T is actually a crazy Silver Arrow Spray player, both with the main weapon and the sub-weapon, and also has the painting power of the Silver Arrow Spray. Already, Mako getting a really good pick looking for the second one on the stack.
Yes, I'm so interested to see how the painting will pair up against a team versus team, because we see both like the Zinc Mini on the one side versus the Aerospray. I feel like it's a good mix of between paint specials and paint abilities and backline powerhouses on both sides.
Totally. Yeah, the paint is strong. I'd say probably in terms of raw paint power, it's probably a little stronger on the side of Communication with the Ink Rush Flingza and the Explo, along with that Arrow Spray. But they've had a really good just fight here with Meat Beat coming out and getting an excellent pick on the left-hand side, taking that S-Blast down for the count. But you know, Big Hit Bean says, we got a reslider of our own. We're going to try to recap the zone. Unfortunately, with only Makwa alive, it looks like Communication Error is really going to take advantage of this hole.
Yes, it looks like that they are able to build and really capitalize together on their off meta picks, or is it meta now in this new update?
Maybe this is the new meta,
Maybe
Riley.
This is the new meta. Pretty sure that's a different team though. But
yeah,
we are seeing. Yeah, it looks like Meat Beeps be able to, and the Flings are really able to help their teammates be able to establish that hold, because it's really hard to approach with the combined efforts of those weapons, just with how big their ranges are, as well as their AoEs.
Indeed.
And unfortunately, though, when their front lines go down, we see what happens here as the front lines of the opponent are able to move in pretty easily without contest, take a cap.
Yeah, to your point, Riley, the Communication Errors occurred, has a ton of paint, and they have weapons that can do some slaying, but it is more difficult. They have to rely on some of the more anchor backline weapons to kind of fill in the gaps here, and they're doing a pretty good job in it. We talked earlier about how well the Smiley Face Flingza player has been doing, just taking powerful positions forward, and here they do go down, but they bought a lot of time for their team behind them.
Yeah, and we're seeing now that we are slowly edging in on the end of the penalty phase for Communication Error, and now it's just points ticking down as we are getting ready a Shark just a moment too late, more of a victory cheer going on from the Shark.
Yeah.
With that wipeout, as we are down to the last 20
ticks. Maybe a little overkill there, Noir, but you know, overkill is fine, and we're going to need to see an absolute miracle come from the side of Big Hit Beans as the Dynamo goes down. They need a pick and paint on the zone. That's just not going to happen with Sonic doing the brush things, ratting underneath the drop. That was a very strong showing, I'd say, from Communication Error.
Yeah, it looks like that these players do know how to play with each other. I'm sure that they probably spent a lot of time prior to this event, at least theory crafting, and at least being like, okay, here's how you're going to play with this weapon that you don't normally see anymore.
Indeed.
So it's like, yeah, they know how to work around each other really well, which I'm really, really excited to see how they're able to make work in the rest of this.
Yeah, just watching this replay, take a look at how Sonic and Smiley work together underneath the left drop of their opponents.
The paint is going to enable that backline to be able to move in and be able to cause that overwhelming pressure. Just because like movement isn't the easiest, and especially like with their Flingza that wants to stay under the ink.
Under ink. Hopefully not underwater.
Yeah, hopefully not in the water, especially since we're on tower control hagglefish, which I know I have some experience with being caught in the water.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us sometimes.
Before stream,
so
recounting events.
Looks like a pretty big adjustment, honestly, coming out from the side of Communication Error. They got the Mini, and they have a Charger now. Previously, that role was sort of filled by the Explo, and I think Charger's a smart pick here because you can kind of set yourself up. Already a trade going on the right-hand side. That's a big swing trade with a Dapple. You don't see that every single day. But 2 down on the side of Communication Error. I think it's time for Big Hit Beans to move up.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see how this goes. We're playing a little far back as it looks like that Big Hit Beans is able to take the first push with the tower. Mekwa getting a kill here and just unfortunately being able to get sniped by Meep Beep. Meep Beep, Beep having it. Oh, it's hard to say. Having a good time. Having a good time being able to cause that aerial pressure for their team, keeping them stalled back while they're able to re-rally and eventually retaliate against that initial first push. I'm having trouble.
Indeed, and the point you make about Meep Beep is really interesting because on a stage like this, you can go 2 down and still be scared of approaching because of the Charger's positioning, right? Like if the Charger's in the position or maybe enabling someone like Sonic to get a triple, can it be a quad? Okay, maybe not today. To move forward, then suddenly you have a very different dynamic than the slowness you might expect coming out of a Charger comp. But already, just again, smiley face here. I believe that's Noob on the Big Swig roller has just been shutting down every single attempt that Big Hit Beans has been trying to get to mid.
Yeah, it's been a, it looks like it's been a little bit of a fight to try and just fight for control over that general tower, but it looks like Communication Error is very determined. No, we want to have a push.
Yeah,
you're gonna let us.
Whether they're forcing it, whether or not they all go down, and it seems like they're all going down in this particular case. As Kraken here with the newly buffed Dynamo gets the aura, but again falls to Meep Beep. And we were saying like the Charger has such a presence here, and again Meep Beep just getting the meeps and the beeps on these opponents.
They are hitting those beeps.
They absolutely were. But Riley, no one has gotten to the first check. Like, they've touched it, and that's it. We are 2.5 minutes into the match, and the biggest score is 73.
Yeah, and I feel like a big part of this does come down to familiarity with these weapons. Like I was saying, oh, that's a triple on the side of, I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah, Big Hit Beans was able to get the triple. That was T-Man there really popping off on the ramp. But yeah, the familiarity with the weapons is they've been playing a little bit more of a consistent comp. And I feel like as soon as they're able to do stuff like this, pop the bubble in a good situation, suddenly this is turning from just the first check into a snowball.
Yes, and we are, unfortunately, the bubble has been used to get past that second check already. So it's going past into the third is a little bit harder, and it leads to the wipeout. And so it looks like that Communication Error is able to quickly retake back into Big Hit Bean's side of mid, and we are going to see if they are able to, once the tower catches up a little bit, get their own counter push off. We see a triple splashdown right now, not much effectiveness other than keeping them in their base, but with those buffs, that swag, or no, that was the that was the Dynamo able to actually take people down.
I'm the bigger roller in this particular case, but you know, with that said, it's only Kraken alive here, and it looks like Communication Error is going to easily clear this first checkpoint. And if they get the trips out here from Meep Beep, this could be a lot more.
Yeah, and Meep Beep actually having like a really good, I really like the switch to the Charger from Meep Beep, just because this actually allows them to have that little edge over the new Dynamo.
Indeed,
just where the
little more range,
where there's a little difficulty for countering Dynamo. That's really the solution there, is pick your weapon with range. Kraken's stuck in the air for a while, but sometimes Kraken can just, you know, get three.
Just do the Dynamo things. As soon as we're done talking about Dynamo, the Dynamo decides to pop off. Excellent showing from Kraken there to get the triple and maybe an assist on the last one. I'm not entirely sure. Still Orad. I think that they're probably going to want to watch this top right here. Don't forget, folks, they've already cleared both of the first 2 checkpoints, and they only need one more to work toward the wipeout.
Yes, and we are seeing Specials come out right now, trying to break out of the slight hold that's going on here, back into a neutral position. Sonic able to get a kill, and we're going to see if they're able to capitalize on that. Seeing Meep Beep now also being able to watch the opposite flank, and we are slowly but surely making our way in with another kill on the side of Communication Error, taking out Kraken, that deadly Dynamo, and unfortunately the rush at Meep gets beeped.
Indeed. Oh my goodness. Meep Beep going absolutely insane, folks. That is, I think, a soft wipeout there, as Sonic is now where they've wanted to be all game. Noir T does have the bubble ready. Don't forget, folks, they do have to clear this entire checkpoint, but they have the mini on the opponent side already down. If they get a pick in top right, it's going to be absolutely essential, but no, the GG Booyah comes. It's just the roller. Oh, what a showing as a counter push at the end. I thought they might have been able to go all the way.
For sure. Like, they were almost there. I believe I saw, like, there was a little bit of a struggle for being able to figure out who's going to be positioned on that top right
who's
side.
going to be in top right?
And
who's going to stand on tower? Because it's like the Chargers on tower left. Watch this replay right here. They had to get this pick in top right. Unfortunately, they just couldn't. The Booyah comes out, hits the pole. It happens, and just the roller is being swarmed.
Yeah.
A similar thing for the opponent's big hit Beans. If we get enough picks, and I think that was that excellent triple from T-Man there, was able to change the game entirely for them. It was that triple that translated into a push to 20, and I think they also need to keep in mind, hey, it doesn't matter if the first 2 minutes of the game are a complete stall. If we just get enough picks with our weapons, we can translate it. Is this what I think it is? Is this an arrow spray on both sides?
Oh, my goodness.
Riley, when was the last time you saw the screen arrow spray?
Well, I haven't played since it came out, so since that update that made it come out, it's been a minute.
Like, I kind of get the pick. Like, if you throw the screen, it becomes much harder to get the players who are pushing up your plat here. But, like, screen arrow spray is just so unusual, and Noir-T, the arrow spray v arrow spray is insufficient. It looks like they are going to score here, but there's not going to be a whole lot of follow-up from Communication error unless they get a bunch of picks, and I think that's probably going to be the end of Communication error's push here.
Yes, and it looks like with the 71, we are just under the two needed balls in order to make the lead.
Indeed.
So just with two super clams or power clams, we are able to take the score. Sorry.
If they had two clams, that would be a push to 16. They take the lead right back. Although I will say, Big Hit Beans, they haven't really built the clam economy quite yet, right? Like, they've gotten several picks in mid, and they have a decent number of clams, but it seems like every time they want to do something like that happens. Like, a reef slider comes out, or maybe there's just some counterplay from the opponent's side, and it looks like they're going to force it here. They're going to force it in by just throwing players, going back to a 1v1 situation. As Makwa does win the fight, they're going to have to win 2 more, and it just is not meant to be, Riley.
No. I'm noticing from both teams that reef sliders are going out while holding the power clam. And I would like to see both teams learn from what has happened in both cases, where the clam goes flying and then it does not get scored.
You cannot predict where that clam is going to go if you try to slide using the power clam.
I would love to see people try the slider cheese of bringing the slider in, jumping to it, and popping the clam, or just running in right behind it.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop a freight train.
Yeah.
You can just follow behind it.
With how chaotic both these teams are playing, I think the slider plays to both of their strengths, as Sonic is just dipping and dodging. Somehow it's survived. Here comes the slider again. But T-Man, once again, they position themselves in a way that prohibits their opponents from getting anything from that special. And now it's 2 down. But yet again, Sonic is now doing what they do.
Sonic is just farming this edge right now.
Just edge farming, ledge farming, aura farming is what Sonic is doing here. Just trying to get behind their opponent. If they can get a second pick here, I think that would be fairly large. Unfortunately, being on 1 HP is not going to be today.
No, and that enables a Magic Storm to come out, be able to, oh boy, cause a Magic Storm of damage over here as they're able to cause a distraction, get that flank off, take down 2 in the process, cause absolute
don't know what's
panic.
happening, Riley. I
Absolute panic at the ramp.
What's going on right now.
Able to, stop a push, that's for sure.
The pushes have been incredibly scrappy. It's been some combination of we have a ball, we have a reef slider, and we have 1 or 2 members trying to flank and rat from mid. But Big Hit Beans just hasn't gotten to translate, and maybe that's what they needed, the pick from Kraken. But again, every time it happens, the reef comes out. They need 3 clams here, or 4 clams, excuse me, to take the lead back here, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. This jump is surely going to be canceled. Oh, okay, maybe not quite. But a single ball is not enough to take the lead back.
No, and if anything, it helps their opponents by giving them an easy extra power clam. It doesn't look like they have more than that one, however, because of some other pushes in the past. But we are quickly seeing that that's not going to stop them. They are back into mid from the neutral, able to take advantage and hopefully be able to build up enough clams to further their lead.
You know, this entire day we've seen Smiley Face do some crazy rat things on this Flings a Roller, and it seems that the defense from Big Hit Beans has just been a little too much this time. It looks like they have not been able to consistently get them out. Smiley Face is pushing like crazy. That might be the answer we were looking for. But again, as soon as the ball comes out, it is just demolished by the side of Big Hit Beans. Kraken is OR'd up, and it looks like this is their chance to push. They need one more. T-Man is not going to fake it. No! An inopportune miss at the worst possible time. They do recover the ball and break it and take the lead.
Oh my gosh, with 30 seconds remaining, if they can keep the basket open long enough, it doesn't look... Oh, there they go. They're able to sneak a couple in. If they can keep it going, they might be able to just happen to avoid overtime. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case, and we've got 2 power clams already ready on the side of Communication Error, so it's going to be a need for some golden defense right now in order to keep that lead from switching the other direction in this overtime.
They need the Reef Slider here. 2 are down. If they could slide here and then just finish it off would be key. With 1 down, it's a 1v1. Meat Beat versus the world. They come forward. They score it. They need another. And they take the lead. What a Charger play at the end from Meep Beep. Generally, you don't think the Charger is the person to be making the crazy clam scores. But did I see that correctly? They threw the wall down, scored the ball, grabbed a small clam, and scored it to take the lead.
Yes. That was some really, really nice movement going on in order to help them be able to navigate that absolute chaos. I didn't know what was going on in that situation.
Let's look at this replay at the bottom of your screen. It's wonderful. So maybe you're going to be their opponents one day, and you're going to be their teammates the next, right? Like having those sorts of dynamics is just what makes LANs a lot of fun. But as we finally get into Scorch Gorge Rainmaker, the 52 gal is pulled out, and it looks like, as we said, the Aero Spray versus Aero Spray is here to stay.
Yes. Here we go. We are into our Game 4 situation over here with Rainmaker Scorch Gorge, and we are able to see an easy first pop. I believe that was on the side of Communication Error, but it's very quickly turning blue over here with that Dynamo, which just now goes down now that I mention it.
Yep. 3 down on the side. It's just the Aero Spray here in mid. They are picked off. Okay, so there is a checkpoint in the middle, which is good because that would have been very, very bad for Big Hit Beans if not. But, you know, first checkpoint going down this early isn't the end of the world. It really depends on what Big Hit Beans is going to do. However, things are not looking too great here with Sonic going absolutely crazy, looking for a second one down here. Magic Storm needs to find the pick, and they just barely get it, I think. That could have been really, really bad. Kraken finally able to clean up here. You know, Riley, I thought this was going to be worse than 24, and honestly, it could still be if they can't camp this jump.
Yeah, exactly. And luckily, we are able to see Norty go down here as they are able to flush the enemy out of their base. However, we are going to see that a very, very slippery Sonic move in to try and take a kill. Not going to be able to, but it looks like that the roller is going to clean up. We are seeing that the Big Hit Beans are now back into mid with that reset, trying to fight for the pop. I'm seeing a flank on the side, and we are getting a wipeout.
Okay. 2 wipeouts now. Unfortunately, the difference between this one and the last one is you do not have a checkpoint in the way. I will say that Big Hit Beans has regained position pretty quickly, so they will slow their opponents down, but they need to be extremely careful, and more importantly, they need to get the pick. T-Man, again, coming up big for their team here, able to get that pick, but they need to flush one out. Yes, they are flushed out. Finally, Big Hit Beans can retake mid, but, you know, Riley, I think they have to do something a little different this time, because last time they were in a similar position, retaking mid after the team fight, and they just lost a lot of players, and if that keeps on happening, then it's going to be very difficult for them to have a presence here.
Yes, and we're seeing some team-ups to be able to take out the back line of Communication Error, but it looks like that we are seeing some Reef Sliders able to clean up and keep things more in a neutral state. However, the screen is able to cause that blind, and we are seeing Magic Storm take 2 down, or at least help in the second, and with another reset, we are going for a quick pop and hopefully a grab soon. Unfortunately, taking it right in front of the newly respawned Charger is just going to end in doom.
Indeed it is. And, you know, it was a very good shot for Big Hit Beans there. They had them 2 down, but the Charger was just in the right place at the right time, positioned themselves to get rid of that Rainmaker, and then the punish on the Reef Slider. And again, same storyline that we've seen previously with, again, Meatbeat just hitting these shots and preventing the opponent from having much of a presence in mid at all. T-Man here is in a really, really difficult spot. They're either going to have to jump out or maybe win a crazy fight. And again, Rainmaker is just stalling in mid as finally T-Man goes down, and it's only the screen protecting Big Hit Beans from being pushed on.
Yes, and it looks like that now that it's over, we're seeing a very, I'm not sure I like how they moved back a little bit, but we are able to move up onto the ramp at the very least.
Ooh.
Nice snipe coming out of Meatbeat, and we are now back yet again into neutral with that lost Rainmaker.
Yeah, you know, I think Communication Error at this point has sort of decided we don't need to push like crazy because the opponent has not pushed the Rainmaker past mid. Like, sure, we could use more points, but we don't need the more points. So that's why they're not playing super aggressively. And they just, Meatbeat has shut down every single time Big Hit Beans tries to push. Again, it's just the arrow spray, and they are going to die to the roller here. This is probably going to be a much bigger push than what we had said previously with the triple strikes coming out. Noir T actually deciding to bide their time a little bit here, which I think might end up being punished if they don't get this pick, but they do get this pick. And if they can just get 1 or 2 down here, the answer is no. Big Hit Beans does prevent the bleeding, but they have a long way to go to take the lead.
Oh, yes, for sure. And I think I noticed something, which is that Meatbeat is the secret weapon here for this team. They don't really, there we go, as I say it,
Right
predicting the future, taking down the Dynamo. They don't have a lot of counters to the Charger.
They need to get rid of Meatbeat before they push through mid, and Sonic has been going insane this whole game, getting the aura, and it's just 1 member remaining. We're going to need to see a generational push from the side of Big Hit Beans if they want to take this back from Communication Errors occurred. You need to get the Rainmaker, get rid of the Charger, and finally stop pushing. They have decided to push up here, and with 1 layer down, it's just going to be T-Man, and they do get the pick, but now it's just the arrow
Rainmaker
spray.
down, we've got the arrow.
No!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it wasn't meant to be.
Very good game.
A game. And Riley, you said this earlier, but like they just did not have the counterplay from Meatbeat. Right?
Yeah.
Like, Charger got to mid, and you can think we can do multiple things against the Charger. Like, we can throw bombs, we can maybe throw the screen out there to, like, throw off their aim, but, like, if you can't translate that into the Charger either going down or being far enough back to not be a threat, then the Charger's just going to constantly pick you off. And we saw multiple times where, honestly, Big Hit Beans was in a pretty good position. They had them 2 down, but they just could not move.